snatch, power snatch, hang, power snatch. What are the differences between these lifts, and how can we remember these differences in an easy and practical manner? We're going to sort this all out today with the help of Becky, who's going to demonstrate these lifts. The snatch is a lift wherein the bar is lifted, typically from the floor. It is accelerated, imparting enough momentum to the bar that the bar continues up until it is racked or received or caught overhead. Now, there are a couple variations of the snatch, specifically the power snatch, the hang snatch, and the hang power snatch. So it's useful to have kind of a snatch family tree, or a snatch flow chart, if you will. But before we develop that flow chart, we need to understand two terms: power and hang. First, the word power. Power refers to a receiving position, the position in which the snatch is caught or racked. When you think of the word power, you want to think of a partial squat, specifically a partial overhead squat. It's pretty easy to remember, as power and partial both begin with the letter P. So if you see the word power, then you know that the snatch is caught in a partial overhead squat. If you don't see the word power, then you know that the snatch is received in a full or a deep overhead squat position. Next, the word hang. Hang refers to a starting position. So if you see the word hang, then you know that the lift is going to start with the bar, not surprisingly, hanging in the hands. If you don't see the word hang, then you know that the lift is going to start with the bar sitting on the floor. Now that we've got the terminology covered, we can move on to the lifts themselves. You'll have to bear with my drawings. They're not great, but they'll get the point across. First, the snatch, also referred to as a full snatch or a squat snatch sometimes to differentiate it from the other variations, but it is still most commonly known as simply the snatch. You'll note that the word hang is not present. Because the word hang is not present, the bar is going to start with the plates sitting on the floor, not hanging in the hands. You'll also note that the word power is not present, so it's not going to be received in a partial squat. Instead, it's going to be received in a full overhead squat position. Next up, the power snatch. You'll note that you don't see the word hang, so once again, the bar is going to start with the plates resting on the floor. You do, however, see the word power, so it's going to be received in that partial overhead squat position. It's going to be received in the power position. You'll note that as we add the word power, the lift becomes, compared to the snatch, it becomes slightly simpler. Because this is received in a partial overhead squat position, you don't have to know how to execute a full overhead squat. Next up, we have the hang snatch. You'll note that the word hang is present, so that means that the lift is going to start with the bar hanging in the hands, typically somewhere around the mid to low thigh. We don't see the word power, so it's not going to be received in a partial overhead squat. Instead, it's going to be received in a deep overhead squat, a full overhead squat. As the power snatch got simpler compared to the snatch, likewise the hang snatch is a little bit simpler compared to the snatch. You don't have to pull the bar from the floor, so it's a slightly simpler, shorter version of the snatch. So we know that the power snatch is a shorter version of the snatch. Likewise, we also know that the hang snatch is a shorter, simplified version of the snatch. If we combine these two, we get an even shorter, more simplified version of the snatch. We get the, not surprisingly, hang power snatch. We see the word hang, so we know the lift is going to start in the hanging position or hanging in the hands. We also see the word power, so we know the lift is going to finish in the power position, in that partial overhead squat position. So this is the shortest, most simplified version of the snatch. We hope this was useful, and if it was, please let us know. Hit the subscribe button or leave us a comment below or give us a thumbs up. Feel free to check out any of our other videos, and as always, we hope this helps you get stronger and live better.